The siren blared across every major network. Trump proposes paying off US debt with new Trump buck cryptocurrency. It was the kind of headline that didn't just grab your attention, it demanded it, echoing through newsrooms and living rooms alike. Instantly, millions of people reached for their phones, refreshing their feeds, wondering if they'd stumbled into an alternate reality or the punchline of a late-night comedy sketch. Was this a prank, a publicity stunt, or the start of something truly unprecedented? The internet didn't just react, it erupted. Social media feeds flooded with memes, hot takes, and wild speculation. Pundits sputtered on live TV, trying to make sense of it all. Economists groaned, some even burying their faces in their hands. But this wasn't just another tweet or offhand comment. It was a formal, official proposal. The Government Expenditure and National Investment in Universal Stability Act, a name as grand as the idea itself. Yes, the so-called Genius Act. The name alone sparked laughter and disbelief. It sounded like satire, but it was all too real. You honestly couldn't make this up if you tried. The plan? Not the usual playbook of raising taxes or slashing spending. Instead, the proposal was to create a brand new digital dollar, backed, ironically, by the very debt it was supposed to eliminate. Crypto enthusiasts erupted in celebration, seeing a new frontier. Meanwhile, financial experts and Wall Street veterans panicked, fearing chaos in the markets. Some hailed it as a bold leap into the future, a stroke of innovation that could change everything. Others warned it was a reckless gamble, a shortcut to economic disaster. Suddenly, the world was caught up in a heated debate about the very nature of money, value, and trust. News outlets from Tokyo to London to New York scrambled to cover the story, each with their own spin. Was this the work of a visionary genius, or the product of unchecked madness? The question echoed in boardrooms, classrooms, and kitchen tables everywhere. The line between brilliance and insanity had never felt so razor-thin, so precarious, like a coin spinning on its edge, waiting to fall. And as more details leaked out, confidential memos, secret drafts, behind-the-scenes negotiations, it became clear, we weren't just witnessing a news cycle. We were stepping into uncharted territory with no map and no turning back. Let's talk about the US national debt, currently at a staggering $35 trillion. That's a number so massive it's almost impossible to truly grasp. It's not just a line on a spreadsheet, it's a sum that shapes the future of every American. That's a 3, a 5, and 12 zeros. To put it in perspective, if you stacked $1 bills, the pile would reach the moon and back, multiple times. It's so big, it's almost abstract. It's like trying to imagine the size of a galaxy. Our minds just aren't built for it. If you spent $1 million every single day, it would take you nearly 100,000 years to spend it all. That's longer than human civilization has existed. But this isn't just a scary number floating in the ether. It has real, tangible consequences for all of us. The government pays hundreds of billions in interest every year. Money that could be building new roads, improving schools, or providing better healthcare. Instead, it's just keeping the debt from getting even bigger. Imagine your household earning $70,000 a year but owing $350,000 on a credit card. Every month, you're barely making the minimum payment, and the interest keeps piling up. Most of your paycheck goes to interest, not your future. You can't save, you can't invest, and you're always one emergency away from disaster. That's America, but on a global scale. Our debt isn't just our problem, it ripples out, affecting economies and markets around the world. The debt means higher taxes, fewer public services, and a dangerous vulnerability if foreign lenders, like China or Japan, decide to stop buying our debt. It's a precarious position, and the world is watching. For decades, politicians have kicked this can down the road, avoiding tough choices and hoping the problem would solve itself. But now, the problem is urgent. The clock is ticking, and the window for easy solutions has slammed shut. The debt threatens not just America's prosperity, but the stability of the entire world economy. If we stumble, everyone feels the shockwaves. Enter the Genius Act, a radical, desperate measure for desperate times. The stakes, nothing less than the future of the country, and perhaps the world. That's why even the wildest ideas are suddenly on the table. The clock is ticking, and the need for action has never been greater. The Genius Act wraps itself in the language of innovation, promising a bold leap into the future of finance. Lawmakers tout it as a revolutionary step, a way to catapult the US into the digital age and reclaim economic leadership on the world stage. But at its core, the plan is both simple and audacious. Some might even say reckless. It's the kind of idea that sounds like it was dreamed up in a late-night brainstorming session, equal parts genius and madness. The US Treasury would create a brand new government-backed cryptocurrency, the US digital dollar, or USDD. Almost instantly, the public dubs it the Trump buck, a name that sticks as the proposal grabs headlines and sparks heated debate. But make no mistake, this isn't just another payment app or a Silicon Valley experiment. The USDD would be official US currency, with the full weight of the government behind it. It would exist solely on a government-controlled blockchain, a digital ledger designed to be secure, transparent, and, at least in theory, tamper-proof. Here's the twist that has everyone talking. The USDD wouldn't be backed by gold, silver, or even the traditional full faith and credit of the US government. Instead, its value would be tied directly to the national debt, a staggering sum that grows by the second. For every dollar of debt the government owes, it would mint a new digital dollar. In effect, America's IOUs become the foundation of its new currency. The plan? Use these digital dollars to pay government bills, buy back existing debt, and, if all goes according to plan, somehow erase the debt itself, transforming a liability into an asset. Critics warn this is money conjured from thin air, a move that could unleash runaway inflation and send prices soaring. They call it a recipe for economic disaster, a gamble with stakes too high to imagine. Supporters counter that US debt is already the backbone of global finance. If the world trusts American IOUs, why not formalize that trust and turn it into a digital asset? It's a high-stakes financial experiment, one that could either rescue the economy from its debt spiral or send it careening off a cliff. The risks are enormous, but so are the potential rewards. The world is watching with bated breath as investors, governments, and ordinary citizens alike wonder what will happen next. No one can say for sure which way this unprecedented gamble will go, genius or disaster. The answer could reshape not just America, but the entire global financial system. Buckle up! History is about to be made. Let's break it down. The US borrows money by selling treasury bonds, IOUs that are considered ultra-safe. The Genius Act would create a digital ledger, or blockchain, where these bonds are deposited. For every dollar in bonds, the system generates 1 USDD. The government spends these digital dollars on salaries, the military, social security, everything. The big move: use USDD to buy back debt from countries like China and Japan. Instead of paying with traditional dollars, they'd pay with USDD, hoping the world accepts it. If it works, the US retires old debt and replaces it with a new digital currency, still backed by government promises. The debt isn't erased, it's transformed. The theory: a faster, more liquid, government-controlled currency. The catch? It all depends on global trust. If the world buys in, it's revolutionary. If not, it's a financial house of cards. Trump once called crypto a scam, so why the sudden embrace? During his time out of office, crypto exploded into a multi-trillion-dollar industry with political clout. Trump, ever the opportunist, shifted gears, selling NFTs, accepting crypto donations, and courting a new base, disillusioned with traditional finance. The Genius Act is the ultimate pivot, a policy designed to win over pro-crypto voters and position Trump as a financial innovator. It's not just economics, it's politics. The act lets Trump claim he's solving a problem others ignored, reclaiming American power and sticking it to rivals like China. To supporters, it's bold leadership. To critics, it's reckless opportunism. The Genius Act is both a financial experiment and a political weapon. It's about making America solvent and making headlines. Whether it's genius or folly, it's pure Trump, and it's changing the conversation. The USDD sounds a lot like a stablecoin, a crypto pegged to the dollar and backed by assets. Private stablecoins like USDC are backed by cash or short-term bonds. The USDD would be backed by long-term government debt, the very IOUs the government creates. Proponents say this makes it the safest stablecoin ever. Critics warn it's a conflict of interest. The government issues both the currency and the collateral. Unlimited money creation has led to disaster before. On the surface, it's a stablecoin. Underneath, it's untested financial engineering. It's a stablecoin built on promises. Promises the world may or may not trust. The stakes couldn't be higher. The risks? Enormous. Hyperinflation tops the list. If the government can mint endless digital dollars, what stops runaway spending? Flooding the economy with new money could destroy savings and send prices soaring. Then there's the tech challenge. Building a secure, hack-proof blockchain for the world's largest economy. One bug or hack could freeze trillions and crash the global system. But the biggest risk is trust. The dollar's value is built on faith in the US. If the world rejects USDD, it could trigger a crisis of confidence. Allies might refuse the new currency, demanding traditional dollars. A failed rollout could spark a global sell-off, recession, and the end of US financial dominance. It's a bet-the-house move. If it works, America leads for another century. If not, the fallout could be catastrophic. America has reinvented money before. Once, dollars were backed by gold. You could trade paper for metal. The gold standard kept things stable, but limited flexibility. In 1971, Nixon ended gold convertibility, the Nixon shock. The dollar became a fiat currency, backed only by trust. Critics predicted disaster, but the world adapted. The dollar stayed dominant. Genius Act supporters say this is the next step, from gold to paper to digital money backed by debt. But critics warn, the world is more competitive now. The US isn't the only game in town. This gamble is riskier than Nixon's, and the stakes are global. The future of money is on the line. The Genius Act sent shockwaves worldwide. Allies like the EU, Japan, and the UK, who hold trillions in US debt, are anxious. If they accept USDD, they're betting on an untested system. If they reject it, they risk angering America. Emergency meetings, frantic diplomacy, and deep uncertainty follow. Meanwhile, rivals like China and Russia see opportunity. They've long wanted to break the dollar's dominance. Now they can push their own digital currencies and alternative systems. The world could split into financial blocks, one led by the US and its digital dollar, another by China and Russia. The outcome will shape global power for decades. This isn't just about debt, it's about who runs the world's money. The Genius Act is a high-stakes gamble with global consequences. The world is watching and waiting. The next move could change everything.